What is going on, Gamble Factory family? We are back at your boy ZROB and Coach T Posey, ready to talk some Thursday night football between the Commanders and the Bears. I don't know how good of a game we're gonna get. These primetime games lately have been tough, been blowouts, just ugly games. It's looking like we got a 6 point game spread right now in favor of the Commanders. We get a 44.5 point total, so we should see some scoring tonight. Hopefully by both teams. Hopefully it's just not lopsided. Tyler, how you feeling about everything in tonight's game?
I actually kind of like the Bears side of the game a lot, and we'll know that when we talk about our props here in a few minutes. But the Bears seemingly are in a good game script to do some things with the football and spread it around a little bit. And the Commanders have been playing surprisingly kind of well outside of that blowout against the Bills. Had the Eagles pushed to the brink last week. The Bears defense is not very good at all. So it looks like the Commanders have some potential to exploit this game. And if it gets, a 6-7 point spread already is what it looks like. So it looks like the Washington are going to score some points, and maybe the Bears are going to play a little catch up. So I don't know. To me, it makes for a good game for props when it being a 6 point spread. The props being as low as they are on some of these guys.
Yeah, it kind of makes it easier for us to kind of predict game script when you get a 6 point spread. You got to kind of think like, all right, team's probably going to score, maybe run the ball a little bit more than usual, which means if the other team's playing from behind, especially when they're projected to by Vegas, they have to pass the ball a little bit more. So it makes it a little bit easier to predict game script, and that's all it is on these single game slates. You got to predict the game script, and if you're not right, you're going to be 0-6, and that's why it's been tough sledding for a lot of people so far to start the year. I mean, a lot of these primetime games have been super one-sided and gross. So, Carly pointed out the Luka jersey right here. We got it for good luck. He cashed a preseason first half PRA, so those who were tailing me last year knows that's the number one prop to take. So, we got it up on the wall for good luck. We're going to cash some Thursday night football slips tonight. Take field goals or kicking points, both teams. Already with the kicking prop. Dude, honestly, I look at kicking props now every single time because of you guys. I just can't ever talk myself into it, man.
I can't either. I always look at them too, and I'm like, all right, this is what chat's going to say. I already know they're going to say it. I'm going to look at it, I'm going to research it, and I'm not going to like anything. That's exactly what happens to me too.
I looked at the field goal kickers. I looked at the punts. Like, I spent like 10 minutes looking at punt props. I just can't talk myself into it. But yeah, do you want to go ahead and get us started? What are you liking tonight?
Yeah, for me, one is Fields something, and I think you're probably going to throw one of them. I'll throw the other. To me, it's Fields pass attempts.
Okay.
He's got is it 27.5 right now? Is it 27 or 26.5 on a couple of the books? And it's favored 130, 135 over the 26.5, and some of the books even have him favored minus 122 over the 27.5. You go look back at some of his games this year, and he's actually throwing the football quite a bit. He threw it 37 times against Green Bay. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they're getting beat, so they had to play from behind. Same thing with Tampa Bay. Like, they're a little bit behind there late, and he ends up throwing 29. Kansas City is a throwout game because that was just an epic blowout. So none of them got really good run there. And then last week against Denver, even in a game they're leading, they're up 28-0, 21-0. End up coming back and getting beat, but he threw 35 times against a poor Denver defense. So I don't know. I think a 27.5 is a little too low. You look at the Commanders' defense this year has been pretty good. Their run defense ranks in the top 10. I don't think they'll be successful running the football with Herbert or Roschon as much tonight. Looks like they've given up less than 3.5 yards a carry. And I think one of these things that are going to help your point is they haven't been very good against stopping the quarterback run either. So that could lead to those rushing yards. But I do think they're playing from behind. Vegas agrees. So I think that he'll have to throw 27.5 plus times. His completions were at 16.5, and they've already got bumped. I just don't think he's very accurate. And so for him to hit that 17 completion mark, I just don't see any way he doesn't throw it 30 times. I don't think he's ever completed more than that without throwing as many times. He's just not very accurate. You go back to last year, and one time he completed that many passes where he didn't throw it, or 2 times, excuse me, that he didn't throw it 30 times. So just not very accurate. I think he's playing from behind. I think this is an over.
Yeah, no, I like it, especially if we're going to kind of lean more towards the build of like thinking the Bears have to pass a lot because they're down a touchdown or 2 touchdowns maybe early on. I can get on board with that. I like it. Justin Fields, the 27.5 is a low number for a quarterback that is going to be playing from behind the whole time, if that's what we think, and I do think that. So that's a low number. You usually see these things at like 32 plus attempts when you get a quarterback playing from behind, even like these more mobile type quarterbacks. I like that a lot. I also like those rush yards. I've played it already. I mean, the Commanders have actually given up quite a bit of rushing yards to quarterbacks to start the year. They didn't give up any to Dobbs week 1, but week 2 they had Russell Wilson 6 carries for 56 yards, Josh Allen 3 carries for 46 in week 2, and in week 3 you had Hurts run 9 times for 34 yards. So I know Fields hasn't hit this number yet this year. He got close against Kansas City, surprisingly, especially like they were super bad on offense. But I mean, I expect Fields to run 7 plus times tonight, possibly. And I mean, last year he hit this number 11 of 16 times, with 2 of those misses, ending at 47. So I like that a lot too. But I'm down with going with the pass attempts for this slip, just because we're kind of predicting the Bears to have to pass and play from behind. Do you like any receiving weapons for the Bears tonight to kind of correlate with this?
Yeah, I guess really the receiving weapon is in like one of the running backs I'm going to talk about, but I see somebody smoking this in chat, and I already like it as well. It was DJ Moore's fantasy score. I kind of added this a little later to my research. When we talked this morning, I didn't have that there. But Moore has got like a 20% target share. It's like a 42% air yard share. He's getting over 2 yards per route run. Like, he's been really good. And if I think Fields is going to throw it a ton of times, like, he's going to use his best target, which is, of course, DJ Moore. And it's like a 34% first read share. So that means Justin Fields, who's not a great quarterback, goes to his first read 32% of the time or 34% of the time, and that's DJ Moore. So I really like that a lot. He probably line up against this guy named Emmanuel Forbes, and who's giving up a 72% catch rate and 124 passer rating when somebody's targeting. So I would imagine he lines up against that corner this year, which is highly favorable for him. So I think that fantasy score of 11.5, which I know somebody mentioned, is really, really good. He's hit this 3 out of the 4 games. The first game being that Green Bay, which surprisingly only led to 2 targets. Not sure how that happened. Even hit it against the Chiefs. Hit it without needing a touchdown in 2 of those games. So I think the 11.5 is really a really good line for him. So I'm going to grab that one as well.
I think it's solid for sure. I was trying to pull up. Let's see. His receiving yards on the books it looks like 52.5, 1 minus 125 on DK, and then we got it even 55 on several books, 56 on one. And his receptions are favored over 3.5 pretty heavily. So that's 4 points for receptions. Then you got like 5.5-ish for receiving yards. So that's at 9.5. He could definitely score touchdown prop, which I've played the DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin touchdown combo prop at 0.5. I like it a lot. Do you think fantasy score is better than receiving yards?
I don't really have a lean on receiving yards as being better. I'm okay with taking, honestly, either one.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like for fantasy score, I just don't understand his receptions being at 4. I just think that's a little too low
I kind
for
of
what he
agree to
has.
that too.
So I think he can hit it without necessarily needing the yardage.
Then he has a
Or
6.5 target prop too, which I think is solid. But
yeah, he's had hit that 2 out of the last 3, and one of those being that Kansas City just massacre.
yeah, and which I don't. Not that Claypool has been involved anyway. Obviously, he wasn't there last week, but like Claypool played 78, 79, 86% of the snaps the first 3 weeks. So I don't know if that like he had 2, 8, and 4 targets. So I mean that could have took some away from DJ Moore too. So it
Yeah,
just him
I
not being
agree.
there, him being off the field, definitely could look to even more looks for DJ Moore as well. So I like it.
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't.
get down with the fantasy score. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know if he
I'm
has
good
to
with
have a
fantasy
touchdown or
score.
not, but like he could hit it
Yeah.
either way.
Does he have a reception prop? I don't think he did earlier when I
He
looked,
has
but
it's at 4, so I mean
oh,
it's
it is
not
a 4.
bad.
Yeah, I would honestly really kind of like that 4. I mean, I know the books favor that under, but I don't understand it. If you
Yeah,
look last week in the AJ Brown catches 9 passes, Devontae Smith catches 7. I mean, he's who else is there? It's him, it's
Incommit.
Cole Kmet, and who else?
So no, I mean those are going to be the main two. I think Mooney just isn't good personally.
Yeah,
The two that's
me
going to
too.
benefit, it looks like last week, Equinemius St. Brown played 58% of snaps,
Yeah,
first time playing all season. So he looks like he's taken over the Claypool spot. I don't know if we have any props on him. But I don't even know if he's worth playing. But doesn't look like we have any Equinemius St. Brown props anyway. So I like DJ Moore. If we think Fields gonna have to pass the ball a lot, he's gonna look like you said almost half the time to DJ Moore on the first read. So um,
yeah. I don't know. I just kind of don't get this prop at all. Honestly, it seems low.
I,
Like honestly, it might be receptions for me now at this point. Looking at it a
I mean
little bit
it's
more.
really solid push potential. Do you think receptions is better than the targets?
Well, I mean, it would just be essentially 2 different passes, right? Like he has to catch 5 out of 7
Yeah,
instead of yeah. So I guess you're probably right. I mean,
I don't know.
it's
I mean,
probably targets. Actually, like looking a little closer since it's just a push prop and it's 2 different.
I
Then
think I think the DJ Moore receptions prop is probably like safer to like at least push.
oh
Obviously
yeah,
it
yeah,
takes one less pass. But the target if you're gonna take on like consider the over, he's probably gonna need 7 targets to at least 7 targets to go over 4 receptions, right?
oh yeah, for sure, absolutely will. And
So,
he's getting that work over the last 3 weeks, like against
mhm,
Tampa Bay, against Denver. Just weird that they got absolutely obliterated against the Chiefs. So I kind of almost had to throw that game out, even though he had 6 targets. I
yeah,
mean, so he only threw 22 times, and he was 6 of them. So
it's pretty
he's going
solid.
to get that. I mean, and we already think Field is going to go over 27 and or yeah, 27 and a half. So yeah, to me, I think targets is the right pick. Actually, I really do like that one as well.
Which like not the Kansas City game, but like the Bucks and Broncos game, he caught all but one of his targets. It looks like so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess Fields has been, and even the Green Bay game, he had 2 receptions on 2 targets, according to Prizepicks log. I'm assuming it's accurate.
Yeah,
So I
that
mean,
one
he's
I
been
think is.
pretty. Looks like Fields has been pretty accurate with Moore. So I don't know. Maybe the receptions is. I don't know. That's close.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I think I would take targets, but yeah,
and then what do you think about? So I feel like we should probably at least have one more Bears receiving prop. I know you were bringing up Herbert. I couldn't tell if I liked Roshan or Herbert more. I also like Komet a little bit tonight. Like his 5.5 targets was something I was considering. I mean, he's been a a target fiend this year for the Bears, if you can call him that. He missed against Kansas City, but the other games he had 7, 6, and 9 targets. So I think that's a solid one. And you were liking Herbert, right?
yeah, I like Herbert. Yeah, I think the reason I kind of went away from Komet is only not because of his talent, is because the Commanders have done really good at
It's true.
limiting tight ends, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the only cause of concern for me. Because like the Commanders given 8 fewest targets to tight ends. It's like
Yeah.
almost no receptions. I mean, they've given up 13 receptions in the 4 games. Like that's the third fewest. I mean, they have been really good against opposing tight ends for whatever reason. But so that scared me off commit. So I went back to Herbert and took his receiving yards. I think he was favored over that 12.5 a little bit. I actually grabbed it at 11.5 a couple of days ago as well. So really like that in a game script that really favors him and favors Fields. You look back last week and he took over 78% of the backfield. So it's kind of been more of a split backfield. The first or the middle two. The first one was kind of really weird because they included Dante Foreman in that one, which made no sense to me. But the last couple was 60% of the backfield to Herbert, 55%. And then last week it jumped all the way to 78% in a game where they won. Their offense looked a lot better. It looked a little bit better with him on the field. So I think they go back to them. So I do like going back to Herbert in that receiving yards category because it's only 12.5, and he's averaging like 3 or 4 targets a game currently. He's he's hit that in 3 of the 4. Just the weird Kansas City game where everything was not working. Nothing was working for them. So I don't know. To me, it's Herbert. I just trust that a little bit more with the way he's trending upward in snaps. And since they won, since they're carrying some momentum, I think they kind of go back to him a lot tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I can get on board with that. I think Roschon's close too. I don't know. I couldn't get a really good lean on it. I was leaning just like a little bit more to Roschon, which he's been bumped up a yard as well. I just kind of, I don't know. I don't think Herbert gets 78% of the snaps again, especially with
probably not that much.
But
no.
I don't know. It's hard to know. Like the Kansas City game, that's hard to tell. He still played like 55% of the snaps or something like that. So like it could have been more if that game was closer. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah,
he's their number one back right now, so he's definitely going to be the back that we see more. And then like the 12.5 receiving yards for Herbert versus the 9.5 for Roschon, it's not really that big of a difference enough for us to like I think not target the number one option.
I think because like you said, you don't think he's going to get 80%. I don't either. That was probably a little bit on an anomaly for him. I do think probably anywhere from 65 to 70 though. It seems like that's kind of where they're trending. It's just a guess based off of the performance of the last game, but like it's still like a good enough portion where I definitely would target the one guy.
Our man Justin asks, ZROB 2.5 tackles are over. Smash the under. I'm not tackling any of these guys. If you're talking about me,
this man Zach's like 5'10", man, or under.
5'9", dude.
5'9".
And I'm slow. Maybe like 10 years ago when I was quick, I'd maybe there's no way. I'm not getting a single tackle.
You want to take the ZROB over when they add the disc golf props back? Take ZROB over 350.5 yards per average on a drive. That's what we need to take.
No, man, maybe. So I see you like the Bears a lot. Do you have any leans on the Commanders side? Because I mean, really, my only leans on the Bears side was I had Fields rush yards, which I'm fine with pass attempts as well. And then I think the DJ Moore and Herbert, they're perfectly good correlation with it. That's really it for me on the Bears side of things. I don't know if you have any.
Yeah, I had one more Bear just because I love TJ Edwards. His tackle prop, it's kind of pre-bumped out pretty much. I'm pretty positive it was anyway. But dude's an absolute monster in his tackling. And the good thing about this prop this week is, last week he only got to 9. When I say only, that's crazy. This dude's average. The other weeks he's like 14, 12, and 17. And those are just really good game scripts for him because teams are having to run the ball, and he's just an absolute machine of stopping the run. And I think that the Commanders will have to do the same tonight. So I think it's a pretty safe 9, to be honest with you. And I do think that's going to be potentially like 8 I think he gets 6 or 7 in the first half. I just think Brian Robinson's prop, his rushing attempts prop, has already gone up. The 16.5 has been bumped. I think the juice will start favoring the over in that later in the day, but that's just my guess. I just think he's such a beast, and I think that with the Commanders running the ball, he's just going to continue to rack up tackles.
Yeah, I like it too. They had it on Chalkboard Streaks actually at 8.5, and I paired that with like a Brian Robinson discount, and I
Yeah,
love that slip. I think it's removed now, but it was
yeah,
at
it is.
8.5 there. And he's pretty heavily favored over the 8.5, so
Yeah, it's a significant over.
yeah, I like it too. I'll keep it in there for now. If we find something else that we like a little bit better, that's not push potential. Man, I was gonna refresh the DJF optimizer, and it looks like it's down right now. So, do you think we should add a Brian Robinson prop? I love Brian Robinson today. I think he has a pretty good day. I've been all over him,
Which
so he can only let
yeah,
me down today because I'm on his overs like crazy today.
which prop do you like on Prizepicks?
So I've been taking his rush yards. I've been considering his fantasy score, but I don't know if he gets that without scoring a touchdown. So then, like, you might as well take the touchdown prop.
Yeah,
Um, his rush attempts just makes me nervous because for some reason, like, the Commanders just don't want to run the ball with him in the first half. I was looking back at some of his game logs and like this guy only gets like 5 carries in the first half. Let me pull it up real quick just so
which is weird. Like that's just weird. They like force feed him and try to like wear the game down at the end. It seems like.
yeah. So like week 1 versus Arizona, four rush attempts. Week 2 and 3 versus Denver and Buffalo, 5 rush attempts. And then for some reason week 4 he gets 8 rush attempts against the Eagles, who have the like one of the best run defenses in the league. So I don't know if they're finally realizing like, hey, maybe we should give this guy more than 5 rush attempts in the first half. I would just it'd make me a little nervous if he had like 4 or 5 rush attempts in the first half again to hit this 16.5 number. So
Yeah,
that's why I was kind of leaning rush yards a little bit, but I can get on board either way. Especially if the odds are favoring Brian Robinson. I don't know what
I
his.
don't, they weren't earlier, but they had bumped it. So yeah, it's still at 15 and a half.
Yeah,
I mean, like literally, like very heavily favored on the over, and it's going to bump again. Uh, man, it's going to bump again. It's like minus 180 for 15 and a half on one book, minus 150 on another.
yeah.
The odds are going to come up on that. I think very clearly, like the 16 and a half could be bumped even. I
Really
just, oh yeah, I do. I don't know that it will be anytime in the next hour or two, but it just seems to be trending in that direction
closer to
where it
lock
could
it maybe.
possibly, yeah, I guarantee you that it's going to come up continuously. I think most of the books will bump it here very soon to 16 and a half.
So then the question is, does Brian Robinson hit 67 rush yards on less than 16 rush attempts?
Yeah, what is that, 4 yards a carry ish? A little bit over.
So like, say he gets 15, then a little bit over 4 yards per carry, which the
Yeah.
let's see, be full. Bro, tell your school to turn the bells off while you're doing live stream. That's just rude. Nah. It looks like the Bears, they've given up 30.5 rush attempts per game, which is 24th in the NFL, so quite a bit. Rush yards, 115 per game, which is about middle of the pack. I wish it said rush yards per attempt. They're giving up only 3.8 per attempt,
Yeah, dude,
which
they
actually
like
is pretty good.
you look at some of their stats, and the Bears have held the rushers to the 12th lowest explosive run rate, 8th highest stuff rate. Like they're stuffing people. Like they actually
That's
have a
surprising.
decent run defense. Yeah, and so if on zone runs they've held teams to the 13th lowest yards per carry. So like they're good. And Robinson has a 66% zone per fantasy points data. So like the Commanders are running a lot of zone reads, and the Bears have been really good against zone defense against the rush. So the Bears defense against the run has actually been pretty good, which scares me, I think, a little bit about Robinson's overall yardage.
Yeah, so maybe rush attempts is the move. I mean,
Yeah,
the books are really favoring over 15 and a half, so
like, pretty heavily. I think that I think I could see him get 20 tonight.
I would love that. I would love for him to have like 10 and then be leading in the first half. That'd be
That would be huge.
huge. I mean, we saw this on Monday. Who'd we take on Monday? We took his rushing attempts, and it was a little sweaty at the beginning. He had like 2 for most of the first half, and then he somehow
And
ended
it
up with
just
like
went
8 in the first
crazy.
half.
Yeah, he went crazy. I don't
Um,
remember who that was, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah, so like last week, Robinson ended up with 14 and kind of a comeback effort there for Washington,
Mm-hmm.
almost like neutral, but like still Howell had to throw it 41 times just because the Eagles' defense was so good.
Yeah, but like against Denver and Arizona, I don't remember the games. I think they were playing from a neutral game script to the leading game script. I can't remember, but that's a more suitable environment for him to run in. He had 18 and 19
Yeah,
attempts, so
yeah, I think that's probably what we see tonight as well.
I mean, it makes sense that he didn't get a bunch of rushing attempts against the Eagles. Eagles have a great rushing defense, and then against the
Yeah, they're
Bills, they were
so
getting blown
good.
out. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
how do you? So, what about their other running back? We got Antonio Gibson. His receiving yards, they're at 13.5. I think they've been at 13.5 the whole time. Chicago has actually given up quite a bit of receiving yards to running backs this year. They've allowed 7 different running backs go over 13 and a half receiving yards through 4 weeks. So that's almost 2 per team each game. Gibson actually leads Washington with 10 targets, despite playing less snaps than Brian Robinson. I could see him hitting this off of like 2 or 3 catches, maybe in like a 2-minute drill or maybe a couple third downs. He's been smacking this thing, I believe, this year. Well, I just have one game up. He had 44 against Denver.
Just on big plays.
Yeah, but like
I don't.
I don't
You
know.
know, say I don't have a big read on the pass catchers for Washington. I just can't find anything that I really like as an edge for that.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because they kind of spread out the ball a pretty good
Yeah,
amount. Like Terry McLaurin and Dotson, 26 and 25 targets, and you got Curtis Samuel with 20 targets. Like they're all really close together.
which makes it hard to guess who's going off on any individual night. Although it looks like McLaurin has been the focus over the last 3 weeks. He's got 22 targets over the last 3 weeks, so he's a little bit more involved lately.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good sign. But I don't necessarily like that it's so spread out and we're having to guess each and every week. I don't know if you
Especially
had
if
any.
they're going to be playing from ahead the whole time, he may not have to pass
Yeah,
the
it's
ball
another
much.
thing exactly.
Do you like any Sam Howell props?
I mean, I think a lot of people like look at his rushing yards,
I
or
seen that too. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
that I personally trust Sam Howell. So that's one thing. You look at it, what is it? Pass yards 243 for full game. Let's look at his first half. Yes, it won 14 and a half, and he seems like he's been really active in the first half, passing wise. Like he's hit this 3 out of the 4 games and like hit it very easily.
Mhm.
And that kind of even goes back. It kind of correlates if he's throwing a lot of yards in the first half. I think they're probably winning pretty good, which then allows Brian Robinson to get rack up those carries. So it kind of correlates to that. But I don't think I would take his full game passing yards. It would certainly be his first half.
What
And you're
about
getting a significant discount
what
too.
about his first half fantasy score instead though? Because I mean he's thrown a touchdown. Let's see, he's had 5 starts in the NFL. He's thrown a touchdown in 3 of those 5. His 2 misses being Buffalo and Philly. So his last 2 weeks. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Chicago has given up a ton of passing touchdowns this year. They've given up 3, 4. They've given up 10 passing touchdowns so far to start the year. That has to be up there with the most. Yeah, they're 31st in passing touchdowns allowed. So
That is a ton. Yeah, second most. But yeah, the Broncos would be the only team that have given up more. But it makes sense because Broncos did it all to get to Tua.
mhm.
Yeah, I don't mind the fantasy score either.
Because I
I
mean,
think if you're taking a Howell prop, I do think it's the first half prop, don't you? Though.
yeah, probably. A lot of people are on his rushing yards, but like I just don't. I don't get it personally because I don't. He ran the ball a lot against the Eagles last week. He ran 6 times, but the previous 3 weeks he has combined for 5 rushes. So it's just
Yeah,
cutting it close. If he only runs one time, he may not hit it.
I don't see. I don't know. I don't get that one. Not a big fan of that one. The rushing. I think it's first half something. Pass yards or fantasy score. I'm good with both because,
Yeah.
like you said, they're giving up a ton. And I mean, he kind of has to throw a touchdown though if he's getting the fantasy score though. That's the only problem. He needs that touchdown, don't you think, for fantasy score?
Yes. Yeah, because, I mean, otherwise he'd have to throw for like 175
Yeah,
passing
and
yards,
that's
which
not
could
likely.
happen, I guess. But
So I guess what's more likely? I'm throwing a touchdown pass or throwing 120 yards?
throwing a touchdown pass, probably. I like them to throw a touchdown. I mean, they're favored to score 25 points, so they're not going to do that all in the second half.
No, it's just is it Brian Robinson or is it Sam Howell? That's the only thing.
That's true.
That's
Or
the
is
only
it Sam
question for
Howell to
sure.
Brian Robinson?
I mean, that could work too.
Some people are asking about Curtis Samuel. What's his lines at? I didn't look at him much, but I mean he's got 20 targets so far to start the year.
I didn't look at him either.
32.5 receiving. I don't know. I mean, I'm not scared of this Bears secondary. They're also down 2 defenders. So already bad defense, down 2 more defenders. So
It could only get worse.
yeah, I don't know. That's why I like McLaurin tonight. I've been playing him. Like I like his 59.5 receiving yards. I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm not touching Samuel. I think if I'm playing a Washington receiver, it's certainly going to be McLaurin.
So would you rather? So we got 5 in here right now. We got Justin Fields pass attempts, DJ Moore targets, Khalil Herbert 12.5 receiving yards. We got TJ Edwards over 9 tackles and assists. We have Brian Robinson 16.5 rush attempts.
Yeah.
John Dotson is sneaky also. Getting similar workload, but lower lines compared to Terry McLaurin.
Terry, yeah. 42.5, 43.5, somewhere in that range.
If I took him, I'd probably take his receiving yards just because I think he could bust one. And Bears, I think they give up a pretty good, passing yards per attempt. Yeah, they give up 9.4.
Yeah. I still think for me, it's Howell first half something. What's your favorite
score? Probably. I think he throws a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he just needs 75 passing yards.
Yeah, it's either essentially you're going for 115 passing yards or 75 in a TD. So.
And I mean, they could cake in maybe some rushing yards if he happens to run in the first half as well. I mean, so I think it's solid. I think it's a low first half fantasy score. He's been hitting this thing too. He didn't hit against Buffalo, but they just kind of really didn't do much against Buffalo overall.
Yeah,
hitting this against the Eagles, that's impressive. And then smashing this against Denver, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Arizona. Even in his first game last year, or his only game that he started last year, he hit it against Dallas. So.
No, not bad. I mean, I'm good with running that one first half fantasy score. I'm good with that.
All right. Get an early cash, first quarter cash. Oh, wait.
Let's go.
Howell, 54 fast yards in the first half? No, I'm just playing.
Oh, that's first quarter, must be, right?
I mean, first quarter.
Shit.
I like it.
No, I'm good.
Y'all should do a collab on Betr. They don't have a mobile version for Betr, so we couldn't pull it up and stream it, unfortunately. You guys would just have to look at our faces. But 100x game stack, if they get it up here, that would be sweet to do. Sam, 1.5 touchdowns versus the Bears. I think that's solid too. The Bears have given up a ton of touchdowns to quarterbacks to start the year, so I have no issue with that. I actually played that in my game stack on Betr. Speaking of.
Let's go. Let's run this thing, man.
Yep, let's get this thing. Do you already have it entered?
No, I'm trying to lock it in currently.
Oh, do you want to send me the link when you do?
I sure can.
John Dotson. Dude, I like John Dotson today. I was very interested in him, but I just didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I told you when we were coming before stream, I did not have a good feel for this Commanders team at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we have a really good correlated slip. So, if the Bears are playing from behind early, like we kind of think they're going to, the slip has a good chance of cashing. Now,
Yeah,
as
I
long as
think
you don't get anything stupid like that's been happening, like a Bears kickoff return touchdown to start the game,
well, that's
dude, I can
that's
already see
crazy.
that happening.
That would be wild.
Also, chat, if you have any questions, let us know real quick. We're about to get off here probably. Stay tuned for an NBA seasons uh, live stream for Prizepicks. We'll be doing that soon, probably very soon because we only got a couple weeks
Yeah,
till the season starts.
yeah.
I already
Also,
have a
don't.
absolute nuke. It's a free square that Prizepicks has up there. And I'm not going to tweet it out until we do the live stream because I don't want to get removed.
Did anybody like and subscribe to the show today, man? We forgot to say that early on,
That is true.
so we want to make sure we get that done. We got to like this and subscribe to this so this slip can hit for us, man. We got to have the license ups. So make sure you do that to support us. I'm going to post this as soon as I get mine submitted. I'm going to post it into our free chalkboard that's down below in the description. So you can join that and you'll see the slip if you can't quite hear it on stream or you miss a prop or two. So it'll be posted in the TGF stream slip under our free chalkboard.
Yeah, I'm excited for some NBA. Should I take Sam over passing yards in the first half? Yeah, you can do that. We took fantasy score, so
Yeah,
but
both are good.
pass
We,
yards are
we like
also
both of
good.
them.
Which ones for a two-man? What's your favorite prop today?
Fields over 27.5 passing
Tyler's liking
attempts.
Fields over 27.5, and I'll go with Brian Robinson 16.5 rush attempts in the slip. So it's really good correlation, honestly, for a two-man. What's your Discord link? Post on your Twitter. We don't have a Discord, but we have a chalkboard that we post these stream slips in. So
Yeah, free. Might
Sam
we add?
over yards or passing touchdowns? If you're wanting to decide between either of those, what's his
Bro,
passing yard? 243.
I
I'd probably
think
go
it's first
passing
half.
touchdowns. I think so. We only have one in the last 2 weeks, but a lot easier of a defense, and the Bears have given up passing touchdowns a lot. The kicker for Washington, I just
No,
can't, dude. No.
not touching kickers. I don't like them.
The only time I'm gonna play a kicker prop if it's like minus 150 something or better, and we get it on stream. I'll play it then. I'll promise you, I'll play it then. I'm gonna trail that fantasy score for Sam. Do you think Fields will go under rushing yards today? No. I personally think he goes over. I haven't really seen anybody else talking about it, so it makes me a little nervous. But Washington has given up a bunch of rush yards to quarterbacks to start the year, so I kind of like it. Chase Young sacks worth a look. What we got here?
Didn't look much of the sacks today. Or I didn't like much in the sacks today.
0.25. I wonder if we got odds on them. Slightly favored to not record a sack, but he's at 0.5 or 0.25 on Prizepicks, so I don't know how that translates with the odds, honestly. It's only a 0.25 on Prizepicks and a 0.5 on the books, so there's probably some value in him recording a half a sack to be able to cash this over, honestly.
I don't
More
think he's
over
playing.
fantasy or receiving yards. We took
We took his targets.
but
Yeah.
I think all of them hit, honestly.
All right. Boy, don't we all? Zach in chat said, hopefully this week better than last. Yeah, we don't. We think the same.
Bro, you guys got Sam Howell bumped. I didn't even take the slip.
Wait, he's already bumped?
It bumped to 8.
I haven't submitted either.
Oh my gosh, that's actually a pretty
I'm
big
trying-
bump.
I'm trying to submit it and it won't let me.
Wow. A
I'm gonna try to
1 point
submit it
bump
for
like
5
that's pretty nasty, dude. So I'm gonna take pass yards now personally since that hasn't been bumped.
Yeah, I'm 100% taking the passing yards.
Let
I
me-
can't get it. I can't get it to play. I don't understand why my phone's not working. So it's unfortunate.
I'm gonna actually lock this in real quick while we're on stream because I've already messed around and let Sam Howell get bumped. That would have been nice to get that value.
Yes, they are big D's. Like Prizepicks is hurt 100% in here already. We know it. Freaking that sucks, man. And I couldn't even submit it. It's really annoying.
What do we take? Herbert receiving yards. Your signal not letting you submit it.
No, it won't. It happens here and there. Not very much at this new place, but yeah, sometimes.
Dang.
But
I know some of you on stream had to have got that Sam Howell fantasy score. That was just too low.
it's annoying.
Which I still think 8 he probably covers also, but I'm just gonna take pass yards now just because like when it gets bumped a full point, that's 25 passing yards. So
Yeah, exactly. That's the same as me. So, any last minute questions? We're gonna hop off here and get our NBA season long slips fully ready for you guys. We'll have that stream announced here in the next couple of days. Obviously, we'll be back Saturday and Sunday night, Monday Night Football. So we've got some streams coming.
yeah. Give you guys a couple more seconds. Let's see. Price in here. Take my talents to sleeper. Ain't nothing wrong with that, dude. The sleeper
Sleeper is the move,
where
bro.
it's at.
Sleeper is the move.
1J Crud said he got it, definitely. So he locked in the value.
Lucky.
Rush yards in the first 5 attempts. I couldn't get a lean. I looked at those. I couldn't get a lean.
Yeah. Not at all. Me neither.
Are you still locking in Sam's fantasy points? I think we're going to go pass yards now.
Yeah, we're gonna pass yards since it has not bumped in the fantasy score head.
Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that it got bumped to 8. I mean, 7 that didn't make any sense. It was too low. I still think 8's solid to take. I'm just going to take pass yards since it has a bit bumped. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
All right, guys. It was a pleasure chatting with you guys. Always appreciate you coming in, liking and subscribing and keeping the lights on over here. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, we really do appreciate you guys. We'll see you on Saturday night for another stream. And let's make some money tonight. We're due for a primetime game to not be ugly and a blowout. So let's get it. See ya.